Alright, friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. My mom has just got off a flight. I'm back in Jerusalem for a few minutes. And so this is the post 20-hour flight version of Babylon Talmud, live from Jerusalem. Today we're going to study Daf Chaf Hey of Masechta Berachos. Now, I'll tell you the truth, man. My goal for today is to try to gun it till Chaf Vav Amud Aleph at the new Perek. I'm going to see if I can make it. We'll see if I could do it, in the normal time. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And then I would love it if tomorrow we can just start off fresh on the new Perek, Tfilas HaShachar, which is that's when things get really fun. They talk about Shacharis and things like that. I know the last few days have been a little bit abstract maybe, but there's some really, look, at the end of the day, it's just practical stuff, going to the bathroom, davening, how to relate to all that stuff. It's practical. So, I've been saying about how it's, I'm not necessarily enjoying it that much, and it could be hard. There isn't necessarily much of a flow, and it wasn't like the Agaditas from before, and it's like the, difficult stuff to like really wrap your head around. It's just kind of like lots of random stuff about going to the bathroom, but it is practical stuff. It is important stuff that you're going to reference later on. So, all right, enough of me babbling. Although I guess this is a show about babbling, but I'm wasting your time. Let's move on. Daf Chaf Daled Amud Beis, all the way at the bottom, at the two dots. Amar Rav Huna, Haisataliso Chaguralo Amosnav Mutar Likros Kriyashma. Oh, so says Rav Huna, if his talis, I guess if he had some kind of article of clothing wrapped around his waist, okay, so he's allowed to read Kriyat Shema, right? Imagine you take like a towel or something and you wrap it around your waist, and that's the only thing you're wearing. You're allowed to read Kriyat Shema. Tani Nam Yachi. We also learn in a brayso like this. Ha'isa taliso shel beged v'shel or v'shel sak chagura amosnav. If you had some kind of garment made of cloth or of hide or of sackcloth, and that was wrapped around his waist, mutar likros Kriyat Shema. Well, literally, mosnav I think is loins. I don't know what loins are though, so I assume it just means waist. What do you guys think? Anyways, mutar likros Kriyat Shema. So in that case, you're allowed to read Kriyat Shema. But l'tefila achichas eslivo. Oh, but in order to daven, you have to cover your heart. And Rashi says something really cool. It's a top Rashi on Chafei Amud Aleph. He has to show himself as if he's standing in front of a king. And to stand in fear. But you're not speaking in front of the king when you say Kriyat Shema. It's more something, I guess, for yourself to internalize what it means to, Kabbalah Samachul Shemayim, mitzvos, etc. And therefore, when you're standing in front of the king, you should have your heart covered. Okay. It says Rav Huna, if he forgot and he went with his tefillin into the bathroom, right? So he's got to cover. He just covers his tefillin until he finishes using the bathroom. Really, until he finishes using the bathroom, he just covers his tefillin, the tefillin, right? Oh, no, it's not until he finishes completely going to the bathroom, just until he finishes, I guess, the first, I don't know, part of going to the bathroom. I guess he's going like number 2 or something, so he just kind of finishes until he can. Has an interruption where he can just get out of there. So at that point, he just gets out of there. He doesn't wait until he's done because he's wearing his tefillin. So why doesn't he just stop immediately? So vilei, come and get out of there. So that no, if you just like stop going to the bathroom when you're in the middle of defecating, so then it can bring you to get this disease called hadrokan. And the equivalent, I guess, sickness that you will get when you're urinating would be called yerokan. Idmar, tzoa al besaro o yado munachas beveis hakisei. So if he has tzoa on his body, okay, or if his hand, yeah, there's like a funny kind of thing. I guess if there's like a hole going into the bathroom and like he just sticks his hand in, and the question is, can he read Kriyat Shema while he's got a hand in the bathroom? All right. Rav Huna Amar mutar likros Kriyat Shema. Rav Chizda Amar also likros Kriyat Shema. So Rav Huna says you're allowed to read Kriyat Shema with your hand in the bathroom or with tzoa on your body, and Rav Chizda says that you are not allowed to. Okay. Rav, my time to Rafuna. How come Rafuna says it's mutter? Right? It says that your soul praises God, and as Rashi says, that would include your mouth and your nose, not necessarily your hand. Okay. Rav Chizda Amar, Rav Chizda also the Kros Kriyas Shema. My time of Chizda Tichsiv Kol Atzmosai Tumana Hashem Michamocha. Rav Chizda says that it's also to read Kriyas Shema when your hand is in the bathroom, because it says all of my limbs will speak Hashem, who is like you. So therefore, even if your hand is in the bathroom, that's a problem. Idmar Reach Ra Sheish Lo Ikar. Oh, so okay, if you have a bad smell that has an ikar, what does it mean that has an ikar? Kilu, if you could see the tzoa and you can smell the tzoa, right? You can like see it and smell it. So Rav Huna Amar Machik Talat Amos V'Kor Kriyas Shema. So Rav Huna says just get 4 amos away from, I guess, the tzoa, and then you could read Kriyas Shema. Rav Chizda Amar Machik Talat Amos V'Makom Shapasak Hareach V'Kor Kriyas Shema. Chizda says that you get 4 amos away from where the smell stops, and then you can read Kriyas Shema. Tani Kavasi Rav Chizda. So we have a brisa supporting Rav Chizda. What's this brisa? Lo yikra adam Kriyas Shema lo keneged tzoas adam, v'lo keneged tzoas klavim, v'lo keneged tzoas chazirim, v'lo keneged tzoas tarningolim. Person should not read Kriyas Shema when he's opposite human excrement, or dog excrement, or pig excrement, or chicken excrement. V'lo keneged, so you can skip the next word, ashba sherei chara, and not next to garbage that smells bad. But if where you are is 10 tfachim above where the tzoa is, or where the bad smell is, or 10 tfachim below, then you could be even right next to it and read Kriyas Shema. And actually, we're going to find this out. We're going to have this come up a little bit later, actually, and we're going to experience it a lot more when we learn like Eruvin and Sukkah. But 10 tfachim is what's considered a different rishus. So if you're like 10 tfachim above or below the tzoa, so it's like you're in a different rishus, and that makes it okay. Okay, assuming that it doesn't smell bad, right? Fine. Mistama. Yeah, v'kari Kriyas Shema. Ve'imlav marchik lo enav. Right, exactly. So up until now, we're assuming that it doesn't smell bad. You can just see it, right? So kilu, if you can see tzoa of any of these humans or animals, or if it's in a different rishus domain, and you can't smell it, it's just there. So then, so then if you can. So v'imlav, if you're like within 10 tfachim, so then just get it out of your eyesight. Make sure that you can't see it, and then it's okay. V'chein the tefillah, and the same thing would apply to tefillah. Just make sure you can't see it, and then it would be okay. Reach ra sheish lo ikar. Now, if you have a bad smell, right? If you can smell the tzoa and you can see the tzoa, right, which is now the situation that we're talking about with Rav Chizda and Rav Huna, so marchik dalet amos v'makom hareach v'korei Kriyas Shema. So you get 4 amos away from the smell, and then you can read Kriyas Shema, which is exactly what Rav Chizda said. So Rava says that the halacha actually is not like this brisa, elakiha titania. Rather, it's like the following brisa: lo yikra adam Kriyas Shema lo keneged tzoas adam, v'lo keneged tzoas chazirim, v'lo keneged tzoas klavim, bizman shenasan oros l'sochan. So rather, it's like the following brisa that says that you can't read Kriyas Shema keneged any of these tzoas, but that is only when there are hides in the tzoa. That is when you cannot read Kriyas Shema. And Rashi says, right, bizman sheish bain oros atzoas klavim b'chazirim kai. So it's specifically talking about the tzoa of dogs and of pigs. Shedarkan lesitan beibura oros. That is, right. So that would be part of tanning hides. About tzoas adam afilu below oros sharei ein darkan lesitan sham hilkach al korchech below oros kamer. Right, but since you don't really use human excrement for tanning hides, so clearly it's not talking about when there are hides in the human excrement. Okay. So they asked Rav Sheshes. So if you just have a bad smell, so reach ra she'ein lo ikar is basically if somebody passes gas. Okay. So mao. So amalu asu chazu ani tzifid deve Rav de hane ganu v'hane garse. So he said, well, just look at the base medrash. What's going on in the base medrash? You have this room, which is interesting. It seems apparently you have this room where some people are learning and some people are sleeping. Because there's other Gemaras that say that you shouldn't really sleep in a base medrash. But in any event, so you have this room by the base medrash, in the base medrash. Some people are learning, some people are sleeping, and the people that are sleeping are probably passing gas. And we say that they can nonetheless learn. But this would only be acceptable by Divrei Torah, because Divrei Torah, if you're learning with Chavrusa, you can't just get up and leave. when you're learning with chavrusa. But for Kriyat Shema, you would, Kriyat Shema, there's no reason why you can't just get up and get out of the Beis Medrash and go read Kriyat Shema. So it sounds like you wouldn't be able to read Kriyat Shema if there was, a smell of somebody else's gas. Okay. V'divrei Torah nami lo amaran ela de chavrei aval didei lo. Also, when we say that you're allowed to learn Torah if you can smell somebody else's gas, so that is only if it's somebody else's, right? If it's yours, then you should. Then I guess you're more in control of getting up and going somewhere else. Okay. Itmar tzoa overis. Okay, if you have tzoa that is passing, right? So let's say you're saying Kriyat Shema, and then a garbage truck drives by, right? So do you need to stop until the smell goes away? So Abaye Amar Mutter L'Kros Kriyat Shema. Abaye says that it's permitted to read Kriyat Shema. Rava Amar also L'Kros Kriyat Shema. Rava says that it's forbidden to read Kriyat Shema. Although I think Rashi explains Tzoa Overis as like somebody's coming by with like a bedpan or something like that. So like a container with excrement in it. But yeah, but I imagine it's talking about any passing sort of bad smell. So Rava says that that you wouldn't be allowed to read Kriyat Shema. I guess you would have to stop until the smell goes away. Abaye says that it would be okay. Fine. Amar Abaye Minah. From where do I say that it would be okay to read Kriyat Shema when let's say the garbage truck is driving by? The Tananas, we learn in a Mishnah, Hatame Omer Tachas Ha'ilon. So this is talking about a mitzorah, and I didn't realize that a mitzorah is mitami ba'oel. A mitzorah is mitami ba'oel, just like a mesa. So like if you're in a room or a house with a mitzorah, so you will become a rishon l'tumah. You will become tameh. Interesting. Okay, you would only be tameh until the evening, but it's interesting. I didn't realize that. So if you are standing, so if you have a tameh person, a mitzorah, who's standing under a tree, okay, v'atar over, and a pure person passes by under the tree, tameh, that pure person becomes impure, okay. Tahor omed tachas ha'ilan v'tameh over tahor. So if you have a pure person standing under a tree, and then a person who's tameh, a mitzorah, passes by under the tree, so the pure person remains pure. The im amad tamid, but if the mitzorah would stop under the tree, so then the tahor person who was there first would actually become tamid. And then we say v'chein be'evan ha'menugas. The same thing would apply to a stone that had tsaras on it. The point being, though, that if you have a tahor person under a tree and then a tamid person passes by, the person would remain tahor. So what Abaye wants to say is that if you have a person who's reading Kriyat Shema, nothing wrong with that, and then you have a garbage truck or a guy carrying a bedpan passing by, that would have no effect on the person saying Kriyat Shema. Rava Amalach, Rava is going to respond to you, Hazan b'kviyusa talia milsa. No, there's a technical reason why the tahor person under the tree remains tahor when the tamid person passes by, because when it comes to contracting, in the context of tsaras, the tumah is defined by the chsiv, badad yeshev mechutz lamachaneh moshavo. Right, that the tumah of tsaras, of a mitzorah, is defined as a moshav, as a settlement. Right, it requires like standing in one place and staying in one place. Right, and therefore, when somebody is passing by, so when the mitzorah is passing by without standing in one place, he's not going to spread his tumah to this tahor person. But here in the context of somebody saying Kriyat Shema, and somebody walks by carrying a bedpan, it just says that, right, your encampment should be holy, and here I guess it becomes contaminated when this person walks by holding a bedpan. Okay, Amar Papa Pichazir Kitzo Veris. The mouth of a pig is like moving soa, and therefore I guess however you paskin in terms of Abaye Virava, in terms of if you can read Kriyat Shema, that would apply to if a pig passes by. Kitzo Veris Dami. Fine. Pshita, that is obvious, and Rashi says because pigs are always eating all sorts of feces and stuff. So if you can't, so of course it would the mouth of a pig would have the same din as soa. So lo tzricha afagav the salig minahara. Even though the pig took a bath in the river, so now ostensibly it's clean, it would still be a problem. Okay. Well, it depends however you hold with soa overis, it would apply to this pig. Fine. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Safik soa asura, Safik meraglaim mutarim. So it says Rabbi Yehuda, I think actually. So Amar Rabbi Yehuda, that if you have something and you're not sure if it's tzoa, it looks like tzoa, but you can't say for sure. Okay, that is a problem. Safek meraglaim mutarim. But if you have something that you're not sure if it's urine or not, so then it would be mutar to say Kriyash Shema opposite. Those who say that Rav Yehuda said, Safek tzoa b'bayis mutaris ba'ashba asur. That if you have a suffix of, if you're not sure if something is tzoa, so if it is in your house, so then it is mutaris. That's going to be okay. Says Rashi, in derech laniach tzoa b'bayis, because you don't generally have tzoa just lying around your house, so you can so I guess you could assume that it's okay. I guess that it's not tzoa, and I guess that it doesn't smell like tzoa or whatever. So ba'ashba asura. But if it is in a garbage dumper, I guess it's more common to have tzoa there, so then it would be asura. Safek meraglam afilu ba'ashba nami mutarin. But if you are have something you're not sure if it's pee or not, so then it would be mutar. Okay. Savrla ki ha dirav hamnuna. So Rav Yehuda holds like what Rav Hamnuna says. Rav Hamnuna lo asa Torah ele keneged amud bilvad, that the Torah only said that the actual, I guess, stream of pee is what is asur, but I guess once it is on the ground, there's nothing to worry about. Rabbi Yonasan, and like Rabbi Yonasan, the Rabbi Yonasan Rami, Rabbi Yonasan asked the following question. On the one hand, ksiv v'yad tieh lecha michutz lamachaneh v'yatzasa sham mechutz. So on the one hand, it says that you should basically go out, right? It says Rashi v'yatzasa sham mechutz v'letzricho kisui. Right? So meaning the first one says that you just have to go out and go to the bathroom outside of the encampment. And the other pasuk says, are they even like one after the other? Yeah, they're literally one pasuk after the other in Sefer Dvarim. The other pasuk says that you have to cover up your tzoa. So okay, it's ad kam b'gdolim, kam b'ktanim. Oh, so if you are defecating, so then you have to cover it. If you're just peeing, so then you don't have to cover it, and it's okay. Zeo alma ketanim lo asra Torah ela keneged amud b'vad. We see that pee is only asr keneged the stream of pee itself, but not once it's in a puddle on the floor. Okay, good. Ha naful arashari. Once it hits the floor, good to go. Rabbanan hu degazru behu. Only the rabbis said that it's a problem and you shouldn't read Kriyash Shema opposite it. When the Rabbanan said that you shouldn't read Kriyash Shema by a puddle of pish, that is only when it is a vadai, for sure, a puddle of pish. But if you're not sure if it is, then it's okay. So now when you have like a puddle there and you know it's definitely pish, so then how long does it remain a problem for? Like, if like there's pish there, does that mean that you can never read Kriyash Shema in that place for all eternity? Like, at what point can you go back to start saying Kriyash Shema there? So Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel calls matchmat pichen, as long as it's wet enough that it can like make something else wet. So if you take a paper towel there or something and put it on it, and the paper towel gets wet, so you still can't read Kriyash Shema. V'chein Amar Rabbi Bachan Amar Rabbi Yochanan calls matchmat pichen, as long as it can make something else wet. V'chein Amar Ula calls matchmat pichen. Ula also said as long as it can make something else wet. Gniva Mishmei de Rav Amar calls man shirishuma nikr. Oh, so Gniva in the name of Rav was a little bit more machmir. He says no, even if it can't make other things wet anymore, but if you could still tell that there was pish over there, so then you still can't read Kriyash Shema. Amar Rav Yosef Shar leMari leGniva, right? So Rav Yosef said, kind of in a, I guess you could say, sarcastic way, that Rav is going to have to forgive Gniva for completely destroying and misrepresenting his opinion. Hashta tzoa Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. If when it comes to tzoa, Rav Yehuda said the name of Rav, kivin shekarmu panel mutter, that once already the outside of the tzoa begins to start crusting, so you can read Kriyash Shema there. Meraglayim baya. Certainly, once the meraglayim, once the urine is dried up and all it left is like a, you could see where it used to be, certainly then you could do Kriyash Shema there. Amalei Abaya. So Abaya, of course, is there to respond to Rav Yosef. My chazis to samachta hasmacha. Why are you relying on this opinion of Rav, which would make it seem that Rishuman Nikar would certainly be mutar to read Kriyash Shema? Rely on a different statement of Rav. To Amar Rav Barbachana Amar Rav Huna Amar Rav. Rav Barbachana said the name of Rav Huna, said the name of Rav. Okay, fine. Tzoa afilu kecheres asura. That tzoa, even if it is like cheres, even if it is as dry as pottery, as earthenware, it's going to be aser. What exactly is tzoa kecheres? If you can pick it up and throw it and it doesn't break apart, so then that means that tzoa is pretty dry. So those who say as long as you roll it and it doesn't break apart, then it's already considered dry. And I think that one is a little bit more makil. I believe that one is a little, it's a chumrah. Says Rashi, Ika da'amre, about 8 lines before the bottom of Rashi, chumrah hi, af al pisha im zorka nefreches, even though when you throw it, it'll break apart, hol ve'ena nefreches migilgul lacha hi. Since when you roll it, it won't break apart, then I guess it'll be easier to break apart, but it'll break apart earlier when you throw it than when you roll it. Okay, very good. But I don't know. I feel like I think we can be honest here. That's probably not so practical. But maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know who's throwing and rolling tzoa. Amar Ravina, Havakaim Nakame Rav Yehuda Midifti. So Ravina said, I was in front of Rav Yehuda Midifti. Oh, this was interesting. Chazat tzoa. Rav Yehuda Midifti saw tzoa. Amarli. So he said to me, Ayin, go look into that tzoa for me. Ikamu panel ilo. Tell me if the surface of it has crusted yet or not. So, Ikad Amri Hachi Amalei. Now, those who say this is what Rav Yehuda Midifti told, who did he tell us to? Ravina. Ayen I mafloi apluye. Okay, go see if there are like cracks and splits in it. Okay, fine. Mayavela no. So how do we paskin in all this exciting story? So Itmar, it was stated, tzoa kecheres. If you have tzoa that is as dry as pottery. Amemar Amar Asura. Amemar said it's forbidden. Marzutra Amar Mutaris. Marzutra says it's permitted. Okay. Asura. Okay, so Rava says, here's the halacha. If you have tzoa that's as dry as pottery, it's forbidden. But pish, as long as it could make things moist, other things moist, then it is still, you can't read Kriyat Shema. Okay. Meisve. Meraglaim. Pish. As long as it could make other things moist, asurin, they are for, you can't read Kriyat Shema there, okay? Nivlu, if they got absorbed in the ground, o yavshu, or they dried out, mutarim. So then they are mutarim, okay? My lab, nivlu dumya diyavshu. It must be that being absorbed in the ground is similar, because they're being compared, right? Nivlu o yavshu, it must be that being absorbed in the ground is similar to being dried out. Ma yavshu dein rishuma nikr, af nivlu dein rishuma nikr. So it must be that in order for it to be mutter to read Kriyat Shema, it has to be unrecognizable that it is there, right? Meaning, we just said that as long as they can make other things moist, so then they are you can't read Kriyat Shema. As long as they can't make other things moist, even though you could still see where it was, it's going to be mutar. But over here we're saying that it's asur. So harishum and nikra asur. So afagav de ein matpichin, even though they can't make other things wet. Okay, moist. Well, the time emaration, but then I'll tell. But according to you, what about the first part of that brisa that says, right, that kol zman shematpichin da asur, which implies harishum and nikra shari, right? That as long as they are making other things moist is when they're asur, but if they can't do that anymore, even though there's rishuma nikar, then it's permitted. So what's pshat? So rather, you can't actually learn anything from this brisa because the Reish and the Sefer contradict each other. Let's say it's taka like machlokas tanaim. Klisha nishbuchu mimenu meraglaim. Also, it goes Kriyat Shema kenegdo. Okay, if you have a vessel that pish spilled out of it, you're not allowed to read Kriyat Shema opposite that vessel. Meraglaim atzman shenishbuchu nivlu mutar lo nivlu aser. And the actual pish itself that fell out of the kli. So when they get absorbed into the ground, then it's mutar. Lo nivlu asur. They didn't get absorbed into the ground, so they're asur. So now nivlu, I assume, means like that you can't even tell where it is. Rabbi Yossi Omer kozmach matpichin. No, only as long as they make other things moist is when they are asur. But if they can't make other things moist, then they are mutar. Okay, fine, very good. So my nivlu, my lo nivlu, dekam tanakama. So what's this nivlu and lo nivlu of tanakama? Ilem nivlu de matpichin. If it means that it got absorbed and therefore they don't make other things moist. So, and lo nivlu dematpichin, and no, right, if not absorbed means that they're able to make other things moist. Vas Rabbi Yossi lememar kol zman shematpichin uda aser harishuma nikar shari hainu tanakama. But then if Rabbi Yossi is coming and saying that as long as they can make other things moist, then it's asur. But if if it can't do that anymore, but you could tell where they were, Rishuman Nikar would be permitted. Well, then he's saying the same exact thing as the Tanakama. Ela Nivlu, Dein Rishuman Nikar. No, it must mean that Nivlu means that you can't even tell where they were. Lo Nivlu, and if they weren't absorbed, it means that Rishuman Nikar, that you could tell that they were there before. Vas Rabbi Yossi Lememar, no, Rishuman Nikar Shari, then no, as long as they could make other things moist, that is when it's asur. But if they can't make other things moist, then it's going to be permitted. And so there you go. So therefore, we'll say it's machlokas tanaim about whether, in order to be able to read Kriyat Shema, the pish has to be so absorbed into the ground that you can't even tell that it was there before, or if no, you could even though if you could tell it was there, as long as it doesn't make other things moist, it would be taka okay. So the Gemara says lo. No, everyone says that no, it's only asur when it can make other things moist. But if it doesn't, right, harishuma nikar shari. But if you could just tell that it was there before, then it would taka be permitted. No, the machlokas between the two over here is do you need it to be in order to be asur? Does it have to be so moist that it can make other things moist, right? Ki'ilu, right? So let's say you have something that is moist enough that it'll make, let's say, one paper towel moist. But then if you take that paper towel and touch it to another paper towel, it won't make that other one moist. So is that considered moist enough to be to make it also to read Kriyat Shema? So I guess that the Tanakama would say that as long as it, even if it's not able to make anything else moist, so then it would be in this case you would not be allowed to read Kriyat Shema. Rabbi Yossi would say that I think it would be okay. Fine. So we said that if he goes to the mikveh and then he realizes like, oh wait, it's about to be Netzachama. So then if he can get up and cover himself and read Kriyat Shema before Netzachama, so then he should do that. And if he can't, then he should just cover himself in the water, right? So Lema Tana Stomach Rabbi Eliezer. Well, it sounds like that this Mishnah is then going like Rabbi Eliezer, who says you can only read Kriyat Shema until sunrise. Damar Ade Netzachama. So if you look at Rabbi Yoshua, no, you can even say that this Mishnah is like Rabbi Yoshua, who says that you can have until 3 hours. Okay, so then why are we saying that the cutoff is Netzachama over here? So Vidilma Kivasikin, Rabbi Yochanan Vasikin Ayugamin Osa Netzachama. So maybe though that this Mishnah is saying like the minhag of the Vasikin, that if he wants to do like the Vasikin, that the Vasikin would try to read Kriyat Shema with Netzachama. Okay, fine, very good. So that's why he's saying that he should try to do it before sunrise. Okay, v'im lav iskasa b'mayim v'yikra, and if he can't make it to, if he can't, get out, cover himself, read Kriyat Shema before in Netzachama, so then he should just cover himself in water. Libo roa se'era, but if he's in water, then won't his heart be seeing his private parts? So Rabbi Elazar v'yitem Rav Acha bar Abba bar Acha, okay, Mishum Rabbeinu in the name of Rav, b'mayim achurin shanu. Damu ka'ara smichta shlo yira libo ervaso. Oh, so in the Mishnahs that we're talking about, very kind of thick water that I don't know, like muddy waters or whatever, that his heart won't actually be able to see through the water and see his private parts. Tanarban, mine slulin, if he has clear water, yeshe bain ad savaru v'kore. Okay. So if it's clear water, you should sit in them until his neck, and then he can read Kriyat Shema. V'yeshom ochan baraglo. To those who say no, just kind of kick it up a little bit with your legs and make it a little bit dirty, and then you can read Kriyat Shema. Tanakama according to the Tanakama, says just cover himself in clear water until his neck. Won't his heart be seeing his private parts? So kasav libo roa mutter. So the Tanakama holds that it's taka okay for his heart to see his private parts. But then his heel could see his private parts. Mutter. So he also holds that your heels seeing your private parts is okay. Itmar. We stated akeva ha'erva mutter because we stated that we have Amoraim saying that if your heel can see the erva, then it's taka mutter. Nogea. What if his heels are touching his private parts? Abaye Amar Asr. Abaye says it's forbidden. Rav Amar Mutter. Rav says it's permitted. Rav Zvid Masni La Laha Shmaita Hachi. So Rav Zvid teaches this teaching as we just taught it, that if his heel can see his erva, it would be okay. But if touching his erva, it's machlokas Abaye and Rava. But Rav Chinna Brei de Rav Ika Masnila Hachi, he teaches it like this: Nogea Divrei Akol Aser. Then no, if his heel can touch his private parts, and everyone says it's Aser. Roe, if they could just see his private parts, Abaye Amar Aser, Rava Amar Mutter. Abaye says it's forbidden. Rava says it's permitted because Lo Nitna Torah L'Malachi Asharis, because the Torah was not given to the serving angels, right? And therefore, what can you do if your heel sees your private parts? Like, that's just part of being a human being. The halacha is that if your heel is touching your private parts, then you wouldn't be allowed to read Kriyat Shema. But if it can see your private parts, you would be allowed to read Kriyat Shema. Okay, so what if you have tzoa, but it's in a lantern? Okay, the point of the lantern is that it's in a receptacle that has a glass door, meaning it's separated by a door. You're allowed to read Kriyat Shema while viewing the tzoa through the glass, okay, because it's in a different place. The point is that, okay, let's go weiter. Erva ba'shashis also likros Kriyat Shema kinegda. So if you have an erva, let's just say like there was a man reading Kriyat Shema and there was a naked woman on the other side of glass, so then you wouldn't be allowed to read Kriyat Shema in that context. Tzoa ba'shashis motu likros Kriyat Shema kinegda. The tzoa bekisu talia milsa. You're allowed to read Kriyat Shema opposite the tzoa that's in the lantern, because the point is that you have to cover up tzoa, and as long as you have something covering it, even if it's see-through, it's considered covered. V'hamichasi, and it's covered. Erva ba'shashis also the cross Kriyat Shema kinegda v'lo yira'eh b'cha ervas davar amar rachmana v'hakameschazia. The reason why if there was erva on the other side of the glass, it's because it says v'lo yira'eh b'cha ervas davar, right? And erva shouldn't be seen by you, right? It's about seeing it. So if you could see it through the glass, so then you wouldn't be allowed to read Kriyat Shema. Amar bai zakta bai tzoa kolshu mivatla barok. If you have a little bit of tzoa on the ground, so you could you could be mevatel. You could basically spit on it and cover it in spit, and then you could read Kriyat Shema. I don't know. It's probably easier to just turn the other way. Amar Rava uvrok ava, but it has to be mamish geshmak alugi. Okay. Amar Rava zakta Rava tzoa beguma. Maniach sandalo alea b'kari Kriyat Shema. Rava says if you have tzoa in some kind of hole in the ground, just cover the hole with your foot and you're good to go. But mar bre deravina tzoa devuka b'sandalo might teku. Mar bre deravina says, what if you have tzoa that is what if you stepped in an excrement? Can you read Kriyat Shema? We say teku. I don't know. We don't know what to do. Although we did talk about earlier we did talk about if you have tzoa on your actually on you, if you read Kriyat Shema, because of machlokas between Kol Neshama Talakav versus Kol Atzmosai Tamarna. I wonder if it would be, if the conclusion there would be similar to this. Okay, Amar Rav Yehuda, said Rav Yehuda, Akum Arum also likos Kriyat Shema kinegdo. If you have a naked non-Jew, you're not allowed to read. You are not allowed to read Kriyat Shema opposite him. My area Akum Afilu Yisrael. Why are we talking about non-Jews? Like even a Jew who is naked, you can't read Kriyat Shema. Okay, fine. I guess the assumption being that if you can't read a Kriyat Shema opposite a Jew who's naked, certainly you can't read it opposite a non-Jew who's naked. Yisrael pshita leida. So no, the thing is that it's obvious that it's forbidden for a Jew to read Kriyat Shema opposite a Jew who's naked. El akum it's tzricha, but we needed the chiddush about the akum ma'udetemaho uchsivbu asher b'sar chamorim b'sarim, because since we say about them that the flesh of donkeys is their flesh. Might think, well, just like I could say Kriyat Shema in the presence of a naked donkey, I could say Kriyat Shema in the presence of a naked akum. Kamash malan, dinunami, ikru erva. They're also called erva, even though they're called donkeys. They're called erva. Okay. As it says by Noach that they didn't see the erva of their father, and I guess Noach wasn't technically Jewish. He shouldn't cover himself in sort of putrid waters or in water that he soaked. So Rashi says that he soaked sort of flax in them, or taka cannabis. Yeah, cannabis comes up from time to time in like Mishnayos and stuff, which is interesting. I guess they already had cannabis in the times of the Gemara. I always wonder, like, if they smoked during the Gemara and stuff, like even just like tobacco, because you don't really hear it. Like you kind of hear about stuff that they used to do, but you don't really hear about people smoking. I wonder when that kind of happened. But anyway, it's fine. I think that they used to use hemp for like clothing and stuff. And we said, well, how much water, like, I understand if you have like, a whole pool's worth of like putrid water, how how much water can you possibly put in there that would make it go away? This is what it's saying. No, you shouldn't cover yourself in putrid or water that you were like soaking like hides and stuff in, like flax and stuff in there at all, because that's like disgusting. But if there's like a container with urine in it, then you just have to put some water in there and then you can read Kriyat Shema. How much water should you put into them? So kolshu, just a little bit of water. Rav Zakkai Omer revius. Rav Zakkai says no, you have to put in a full a revius, which is like I think 4 ounces. So Amar Rav Nachman says, Rav Nachman machlokas livasof. So this machlokas about if you have to put in just a kolshu of water, just a little bit of water, or a revius of water. That is only if the pee was there first and then you're adding water to the pee. But if there was water there initially and then the pee fell into the kli, into the water, kol shein. So then everyone agrees that you would only need a little bit of water there, because basically what happens is, as the pee is going into the kli, it keeps on becoming batel to the water, right? Imagine there's a little bit of water, then a little bit of pee gets in there. So the little bit of pee becomes batel to the rove of water. And then once that is batel, it's just considered part of the water. And then as more and more pee gets in there, it just keeps on getting more and more batel. Fine. So Rabbi Yosef, I'm said Rabbi Yosef machlokas lechatchila. No, the machlokas is actually at the beginning. Aval vasov divrei hakol revius. But if the pee was there first, then everyone agrees that you wouldn't just be able to put in a kol shu, you'd have to put in a revius of water. Amalei Rabbi Yosef l'shamei aisili Rabbi Yosef demaya ki Rabbi Zakkai. So Rabbi Yosef said to his attendant, bring me a revius of water so that I could put it in this pee, I guess, and that was like Rabbi Zakkai. If you have a bedpan, right, a kli that somebody defecates into, or a kli that somebody pees into, you're not allowed to read Kriyat Shema opposite them, even though there's nothing in them, because they're designated for that reason. But urine itself, don't read opposite it unless you put water in there. How much water should you put into it? Just a kol shu. Rabbi Zakkai Omer revius. Rabbi Zakkai says you should put a revius in there. Bein lifnei amita, bein la'achar amita. Whether this urine is, let's say, you're standing in front of your bed, and whether the urine is between you and your bed, or whether the bed is between you and the urine, right? It doesn't matter. You will have to, you have to put water in there. Okay. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel la'achar amita kore. No, if the urine is on the other side of the bed, so then you could read Kriyat Shema lifnei amita. But if it's in front of the bed, eno kore, and then you can't read Kriyat Shema with the pee over there. But he just distances himself 4 amos away from the pee, and then he could read Kriyat Shema. Fine. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer afilu bayis mea ama lo yikra yotziim o she'anicham tachas amita. So Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says even if you have a house that is 100 amos big, you can't read Kriyat Shema until you take them out of your house, or you put them under the bed. Okay. Ibayu, that's the kasha. Hechi ka'amar. So the aleph that goes abach adds Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. Right. So when Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, when Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says that after the mita he can read Kriyat Shema, but if it's before the mita, then he shouldn't read Kriyat Shema until going away 4 amos. So does it say achar mita kore miyad lifnei mita machik arba amos? So do we say that if the pee is on the other side of the bed, then he can mamish read right now, but if it's in front of the bed, so then he needs to go 4 amos away, v'kore? Or dilma achi kamar. Maybe this is what Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is saying, is achar mita machik dalat amos, v'kore, lifnei mita in a kore klal. Maybe what he's saying is that if it's on the other side of the bed, so then you go 4 amos away and read, and then you have to make sure you're 4 amos away from the pee. But if it's on the same side of the bed as you, so then you can't read Kriyat Shema. Tashma the Tanya is from the Berachos. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer says Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. You're going to notice that the names are mixed up over here. We're going to ask about that, right? Achar mita kore miyad. That if there is pee on the other side of the mita of the bed, you can read immediately. Lifnei amita, if the pee is on the same side of the bed as you, marchik arba amos, you have to get 4 amos away from it. Okay. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer says Rabbi Shimon Gamliel afilu bayis mea ama. Even if the house is 100 amos, do not read Kriyat Shema until you get them out of the house, or you put them under the bed. So the Gemara now says, "Bayon of shitalan masnaisa kashan adadi." While we have answered our question, right, that we clarified that what it means is that if the pee is on the other side of the bed, you could read Kriyat Shema immediately, but if it's on the same side of the bed as you, then you have to get 4 amos away. However, at the same time, the two brises contradict each other because the opinions are flipped around, right? Rabbi Shimon Gamliel and Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. So Ipuch basraisus. So the Gemara says, flip around the second one, right? The second one is the wrong one. Flip around the second one. So how come you flip around the second one? Ipoch kamaisa. Let's say flip around the first one. So man shamasle to amar kule bayis kaiba amos dami Reb Shimon ben Elazar he. So the reason why we're flipping around the second one, not the first one, is because we know from elsewhere that Reb Shimon ben Elazar's opinion is that a house that is 100 amos is like 4 amos, and therefore it must be that the one who said that is Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Fine. Amar Rav Yosef said Rav Yosef, Ba'oi minei merav huna. I asked Rav Huna, Mita pachos mishlosha pshita li chilavudami. Oh, lavud. So what's lavud? I wish we had time to go more into this, and I apologize for running through this, but I really do want to finish this parak right now. Apologies, please. I hope that this won't happen again for a long time. I really do. I hope we'll get back to the good times again tomorrow. But anyways, lavud means that when if something is less than 3 tefachim away, it's considered like connected. So therefore, if you have, let's say, a bed that is less than 3 tefachim off the ground, it's considered connected to the ground, right? So therefore, he's saying, pshitali de kilav, right? So if you have a bed that is less than 3 tefachim off the ground, so obviously it's considered, it's lavud, it's considered like it's part of the ground, and if you put the P under that bed, so it's just considered like it's kilu connected, under part of the ground, you create kriyashma. Arba, chamisha, I'm sorry, so shlosha, arba, chamisha, shisha, shiva, shmona, tisha, mau. But what about from 3 until 9, right? What if the P is under a bed that is, 3 tefachim till 9 tefachim tall, can you read kriyashma? So Amarli, lo yadana, and I believe it was Rav Huna, he said, I don't know. So asar vada lo mi ba'ili. Definitely don't ask me about 10 because that's already a different rishus, and certainly you wouldn't be allowed to read Kriyas Shema. Kilu, if the bed was 10 tefachim off the ground, it's in a completely different rishus, and then you have basically just P in front of you. So Amalei Abaye. So Abaye said to Rav Yosef, Shapi Avadata. So this is what, right? So Rav Yosef said that he knew not to ask about 10. So Amalei Abaye. So Abaye said to Rav Yosef, Shapi Avadata lo ibaye lach. Right? Yeah, you were right for not asking about 10 tefachim, because kol asar rishus achrisi he, because whenever you have 10 tefachim, it means it's a different rishus. So therefore, of course, you wouldn't be able to read Kriyas Shema. Amar Rabba Zok Rabba Hilchsad Allah is pachos mishlosha klavudami. If the bed is less than 3 tefachim off the ground, it's considered like lavud, it's considered part of the ground. Asar rishus achrisehi, and if it's 10 tefachim off the ground, it's considered a different rishus. Mishlosha ad asar hanu deba mine Rav Yosef me Rav Huna v'lo pasha lei. But from 3 until 10, that is what Rav Yosef asked Rav Huna, and Rav Huna didn't give him an answer. Okay, Amar Rav, said Rav, Allah Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that the Allah is like Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that the entire house is considered like 4 amos, and you have to get the pish out of the house. V'chein Amar Bali Amar Rav Yaakov. So said Bali in the name of Rav Yaakov, Bra Devash Shmuel, the son of the daughter of Shmuel. The son of the daughter of Shmuel came up a few days ago. I think it was on Daf Tez Zayin Amud Aleph. Right, because she was a captive, but over there we said his name was, I believe, Mari, not Rabbi Yaakov. Halacha Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Rav Amar ein halacha Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Okay, Rav said the halacha isn't like Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Rav Achai yasik le livrei beit Rav Yitzchak bar Shmuel. Rav Achai was making a shidduch for his son by the house of, he's basically marrying Rav Yitzchak bar Shmuel's daughter, bar Marta. Okay, so they got married, but he was unable to have sex with his new wife, maybe because he was too young or something. So Azo Basrei Iyune. So Rav Achai went to basically look into it. Chazal Sefer Torah demancha, and he saw that there was taka a Sefer Torah dartin. Amarlu, he said to them, Iku hashta lo asoi sakantun livri. So, and he said to them, wow, if I wouldn't have shown up and found that there's a Sefer Torah over here, you guys would have endangered my son. Titania, as we learned in the Brisa, Bayis sheish Sefer Torah o tefillin also the shamish bo as amita. This is an important halacha, right, or an interesting halacha. So a house that has a Sefer Torah in there or tefillin, it's forbidden to have sex in that house until you get rid of the tefillin or the Sefer Torah, or you put them in one kli that's inside of another kli. So Amar Abai says, now that's only a kli that isn't designated for the Sefer Torah or for the tefillin. But if it's a kli that is designated for it, and even 10 of these kalim will just be like one and it won't work. kechad mana dami. Amar Rava says Rava glima. So it changes to bikam tera. If you have the tefillin and Sefer Torah wrapped in some kind of cloth that's in some kind of drawer or something, kli b'soch kli dami, that would be considered like a kli that's in another kli. Amar Rabbi Yehoshua ben Levi, Dr. Yehoshua ben Levi, Sefer Torah tzarich lasos lemechitza asar tefachim. So if you have a Sefer Torah in your house, you have to make a mechitza that is 10 tefachim tall, and then if you have that mechitza, so then you could sleep with your wife in that house. Mar Zutra Rav Ashi. So Mar Zutra visited Rav Ashi's house. And he noticed that in Rav Ashi's son's, where his bed was and where he slept there with his wife, so there was a Sefer Torah. And he made a division of 10 tefachim there, separating between the Sefer Torah and his bedroom essentially. So Amrle Kiman Rabbi ben Levi. So Mar Zutra said to Rav Ashi, "Oh, this is interesting. I see this wall over here. Are you saying like Rabbi Shua ben Levi to make the wall of 10 tefachim? Emadam Rabbi Shua ben Levi delays beis achrina. But I'll say Rabbi Shua ben Levi only says that you can have this wall of 10 tefachim when you don't have another house. Mar ha'isle beis achrina amle lavadatay. So, but he says, but you, Rav Ashi, you have another house. Why don't you just put it in another house? Maybe that's also like similar to that article that Yisrael shared with us, that many of the rabbis were like wealthy. So I guess maybe Rav Ashi was wealthy on more than one house. I'm not sure. But anyways, Lava the Torah says, oh, I didn't think about it. Okay. How far should you get away from them? We're going to have to define what them is. And from Tzoa, you should get away from them 4 amos. Amar Rava, Amar Rav Schora, Amar Rav Huna, Loshanu ela la'achorav, aval lefanav marchik mlo einav. Oh. Wait 1 second. Anyways, I think that mehen is referring to urine. So if you have to get 4 amos away from urine and so fine. So loshanu ela la'achorav. We only taught that you should make them 4 amos behind you. But if they're in front of you, you have to make sure that you can't see them. Okay, fine. And similarly for praying. Ini, is this true? We said that a person could stand opposite a bathroom and he can daven, so it sounds like he's looking at it. No, the reason why you can stand opposite a bathroom is because it's a bathroom that doesn't have tzoah in it. Ini, is this true? Bo tzoa adam, right? But 1 second, we said that a beis hakisei is even if it doesn't have tzoa, right? Or a beis hamerchas, even though there's no people in there bathing, right? Right, similar to like the graf shalrei, which we said even though it doesn't have anything in it, it would be asur. So no, here the reason why you're allowed to pray opposite a bathroom is because it is new and it was never used before. Baha mibayle leravina. And now, what about Ravina? Hazminu leveis hakisei mau yezimon o ein zimon, right? If you set aside a place to be a bathroom, is that considered properly setting it aside or not? So kikam mibayle leravina lemekam ale letzaluye legave aval kenegdo lo. No, but the question that they asked Ravina about, if they set aside a bathroom, a place to be a bathroom, can you daven there? That was only if you can daven inside of it. Right, but daven opposite it would be okay if it hasn't yet been used. Okay. Amar Rava says Rava Hani Bate Kisai de Parsaya. Forgot this Butsa Stumen Kestumen Damu. These Persian bathrooms, even though there was actually tzoa in there, it's like they were closed. And because I guess that was already the earlier evolutions of plumbing. They had some kind of way. Rashi explains that they had a way that basically even after you use the bathroom was kind of like in a separate area. Okay, now we're going to see a Mishnah that we have seen earlier before. So it is a little bit of a complicated Mishnah, but we already explained it a few days ago. On Daf Chaf Beis. Well, really Chaf Aleph from the Beis.
ואני דשפול תשך וזרע והמשמש שרס מידה צריכן תביאי ורבי יהודה פודה ורבי יהודה פודה ורבי יהודה פודה ורבי יהודה פודה זם שרע הכאב ואני דשפול תשך וזרע והמשמש שרס מידה צריכן תביאי ורבי יהודה פודה ורבי
So Zav Shira Keri. So a Zav, so he was already Tameh with Tumas Ziva, and then he saw Keri. Venida Shapata Shechvazera, right? Or a Nida that the sperm that was inside of her from before she was Nida came out when she was Nida, so now she has Tumas Keri. And also a woman who was sleeping with her husband and then later became a Nida after the fact, but she was a she had Tumas Keri beforehand. Tzrich and Tefillah, they have to go to the mikvah. Rabbi Yehuda Poter, Rabbi Yehuda says that she doesn't have to go to the mikvah. Ibailu, 1 second. So they ask the kasha. Baal Keri Shira Ziva Rabbi Yehuda Mao. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, if a Baal Keri, so he was first a Baal Keri and then he became a Zav, right? Does he have to go to the mikvah? So kipater, do we say kipater Rabbi Yehuda Hasam Bezav Shira Keri Dmeikar Lav Bar Tfilahu Ava Baal Keri Shira Ziva Dmeikar Bar Tfilahu Mechayev? So do we say Rabbi Yehuda says that a Zav who saw Keri doesn't have to go to the mikvah because he wasn't already when he was already a Zav he didn't he doesn't go to the mikvah as a Zav so he doesn't go to the mikvah when he then sees Keri. So but if he was first a Baal Keri, so at the time that he saw Baal Keri, he was in a place where he'd go to the mikvah. So then maybe Rabbi Yehuda would say that even though now he's a Zav, he would go to the mikvah. Or Dilma Loshna, or maybe it doesn't matter. Tashma Mishamesh is Brasanida Tzricha Tefillah. Well, we said, well, if she a Mishamesh is somebody, a woman who slept with a man, and she had Tumas Keri, and then she became a Nida after that. So we say that right. So we say Rabbi Yehuda Poter. Rabbi Yehuda says that she doesn't have to, right? Mishamesh is Brasanida Kabal Keri Shira Ziva Damya. And basically, a Mishamesh is Ras Nida, she basically first had Tumas Keri, and then she had Tumas Nida, which is something that she wouldn't go to the mikveh for, while she's still a Nida. So that's basically the same situation as somebody who was a Baal Keri, and then he became a Zav, that Rabbi Yehuda says that Rabbi Yehuda would say there that he wouldn't have to go to the mikveh either. Tani Rabbi Chia Behedya, Baal Keri Shura Ziva, Tzarech Tefillah, Rabbi Yehuda Poter. Rabbi Chia taught explicitly that a Baal Keri Usa Ziva needs to go to the mikveh, and Rabbi Yehuda says that he doesn't. Shkoyach, sorry about today's daf. I mamish bulleted through it. I really do apologize for that. But I'll make it up for you guys tomorrow. Peace.